Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I was very pleased today to have the honor of welcoming Governor-Elect Wes Moore to the State House. We had a really, I think, productive personal conversation, one-on-one. And we also had our teams meeting. The Lieutenant Governor, as you know, has been heading up the transition, and all of our cabinet agencies have been working really hard on preparing documents to help get the incoming administration up to speed. They also met at the same time. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming today. It's been a pleasure getting to know Governor-Elect Moore a little bit better today, and I think we covered a lot of territory. And I told him that our entire administration is going to do everything we possibly can to not only ensure the peaceful transition of power, but to make sure that we can help them get up to speed with whatever information they want. And you know, I told them I'm a phone call away. I gave them my personal cell phone. I said we're really excited as we get closer to the holidays, and Government House is all decorated up. We're going to have the whole family over and give them a tour of the mansion and let them know what their new house is going to look like. So with that, I'll turn it over to Governor-Elect Wes Moore.
Thank you so much, Governor. Thank you. Good afternoon. It's been a pleasure spending this time with the governor, and Governor Hogan, just thank you. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your leadership. You know, our teams have already been working closely, and we're already seeing not just how important this is and how seriously the Hogan administration is taking this, but also this is the way it should be. That you know, when the governor is saying that we're going to have a smooth and an orderly transition, it's what the people of this state want, and I'm thankful to you and your administration for helping to facilitate that. We did have a wonderful conversation, and to have a chance to spend some time with someone who's been occupying the office for the past 8 years and leading for the past 8 years, and as I'm preparing and our team is preparing to come on board in the next few months, we're excited about the road ahead, and I'm excited to be able to move and work in partnership with you all as we're going forward. So thank you again, and thank you all for being here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What piece of advice, when you look back now, do you wish somebody had given you, were you able to give that to Governor-Elect?
Well, I don't want to share all the details of all the advice that I shared with them, but I think this is probably an okay one. There are a lot of things that I wish I had known, and a lot of probably advice that I could give. But the one piece I said was just to make sure that he takes the time to enjoy the moment. It's a huge whirlwind getting ready to take over the administration with the inauguration coming up and all of that. And sometimes you get so busy doing the work and focused on what you have to get done that you don't actually enjoy the moment. So I said, make sure you and your family take time to take a deep breath and enjoy this incredible historic moment that they're going to remember the rest of their lives.
Well, I think, there are a lot of the details of the governance piece that we went into. But also, I think one of the big things I want to talk with him about was also what was the transition process like for him. It's something when the people of the state give you their vote of confidence, it's humbling, it's inspiring, and you know that there are 100 things that you want to move and get done and move on quickly. And so the governor was very kind about saying all that is right and all that is good, but how do you think about the pacing of this as you're going into the role?
Governor Hogan, what kind of governor do you think Governor-Elect Moore will be going forward?
Well, of course, I'm going to have to say great things today. What do you stand to me? He's going to be a great governor. No, I've been very impressed with Governor-Elect Moore. I know his heart is in the right place. I think he ran for governor for the right reason. I think he cares about the people of the state. He's obviously a smart guy. I love his military background, and I'm not only am I going to try to help him with whatever he needs to be successful, but I'm certainly hoping, like the rest of the people in the state, that he has a very successful term as governor, and I'll be very happy to see that happen.
Governor-Elect Moore, we all did look at the numbers the past week, and the numbers for the governor throughout the last 8 years have been very high. And it seems to be more in the middle. And we've had some to the sides either way. And how do you think that working yours? Following steps or following the party, or what do you think?
I think we are going to do I think what the administration did so well, and that's listen. Listen to what the people are telling you. Right? You know, I said during the campaign trail that, you know, when people ask, what were some of the things you learned in politics? I said, you know, politics in many ways, it's kind of like an open book test, right? The people are going to give you the answers, but you've got to listen. And so the things that we are going to focus on, as we've said during the campaign trail, about how we are going to continue to ensure that people have a right to feel safe in their own neighborhoods and in their own communities, that, you know, that we're going to invest in a 21st century education system, all the things we talked about. It's not because it sounds good, right? It's because we're going to listen. And I think that becomes a really important component to governing and being able to, you know, to move accordingly with the people's will.
First of all, I wish I'd known about the open book test. I studied, I didn't know. But I didn't know there was a...
I think a lot of, you hear about transition, but to most people, it's kind of a,
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, or they don't know what it entails.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Yes.
You two here, can you explain what's happening here today?
Well, I can tell you our side, and then I'm sure that he's got his perspective as his team, but having been an incoming governor and outgoing governor and participating in another transition before that, there's a lot of work that goes on, and that's why I appointed a while ago Lieutenant Governor Rutherford to chair the transition from our side. He's been meeting with all the cabinet secretaries and other people. We've prepared very thorough and detailed briefing books on every single agency, which we've turned over to the incoming administration here today. And but so we're prepared to, you know, there's a lot to know. It's a $50 billion budget and 60,000 employees and lots of moving parts. I don't want the new governor to have to figure that out. We want to, you know, give him every bit of assistance we can. And I know what it's like drinking from a fire hose on his end too, trying to get up to speed, because I've been there.
Yeah, so our team has been meeting with the administration, and the governor's absolutely right. That the lieutenant governor has been helping to lead the charge, pulling things together, which has been key and it's been crucial to our team. And and while we were very, very focused on November 8th and making sure that we are getting all around the state and being successful on Election Day, the work that we were doing in preparation for this moment right now was happening prior. Because it's imperative for us that we are making sure that we're not just honoring the commitments that we made to the people of the state to be prepared and ready to go by Inauguration Day, but there's a seriousness and a soberness into this work, and so our teams are very much working into the details about what does it mean to prepare for the next step.
And I just have one follow-up. I'm sorry, it's on the same topic. At a time when our nation is so polarized and there's so much negativity, do you hope, or do you think the two of you standing here today may be setting the tone going forward? Do you believe you might be leading by example?
I think that's a really important question, and I think he and I talked about this earlier. In this age of divisiveness and dysfunction and so much anger back and forth and people challenging the peaceful transition of power. I mean, right down the hall here was the very first peaceful transition of power when George Washington resigned his command of the Continental Forces. And, I think this really is important. This is the way it always used to be, but it's not happening today. And so we actually discussed that, how important this is, that everybody sees that we might be different parties, we might have different philosophies or things we want to accomplish, but we're both committed to making sure that the government continues to function and that we work together as closely as possible.
Yeah. No, I think the people of the state, I know they will and they should pay attention to today. This matters. And this is what the people asked for. This is all the people want, right? I think what the people of Maryland are asking for in this moment is that we, as the governor and the governor-elect, that our priority is them. And what the people of Maryland want is for us to have, a functioning and an orderly and a smooth transition into making sure that government is going to focus on them and prioritize them. And so I agree. I think this has not just been a very good and important meeting between us and our teams. I do think this is an important statement to the people of this state, and one that they are paying attention to.
Governor Hogan, I have two questions for you on that topic. The first one, you made a comment saying that you felt like you were alone in the GOP and that so many people in the party were on this Trump Titanic. And there are folks who are wondering if you are going to make a bid soon for 2024 U.S. presidency. So the two questions, is that coming? And are you concerned about how your party's doing right now in Maryland?
Well, I don't want to get too political at this event today because we're talking about the peaceful transition of power, and I don't want to get into a political debate with the governor-elect. But no, look, I've said for many years that I was concerned about the direction of my party, and I think we saw a very clear repudiation of crazy politics. I think Republicans that were like me, that were kind of common sense conservatives that talked about issues people cared about, like the economy and crime and education, they, for the most part, won everywhere across the country in swing districts and competitive districts. It was not the red wave that everybody predicted because, frankly, we nominated some people that didn't appeal to the voters, and that's certainly a lesson that our party has to learn. As far as me, we're talking about helping the new governor take over here in Maryland. I promise to give this job everything I've got every single day, and unfortunately they're still going to make me work till January 18th, so we got 2 years till the next election. We'll have plenty of time to talk about politics.
Governor, I want to talk about the transition process for you. How does it feel to be on this side of things? Is the pressure off a little bit?
It feels pretty good. I remember we talked about this, and I said to Wes, I remember feeling exactly the way you did on election night and coming in here for the first time, and I was excited for him. For me, I really am sort of very comfortable about where I am. I'm not regretting it at all. I feel as if we came to do a job, and we gave it everything we had, and we're trying to complete that job. But yeah, I'm looking forward to moving on and giving somebody else a chance to lead the state. And I don't have any regrets at all. I'm kind of excited. I know we got a lot of work to continue to do, and I got to do some packing and figure out what I'm going to do with my life. But I'm kind of excited about the new opportunities.
Excitement. For the past year and a half, we've been I've been unemployed, and I'm
going to find out what that's like soon.
This has been the world's longest job interview, with over 6 million hiring managers. But there's a real level of excitement because I know this is a place that for the past year and a half, we've been talking about the work that we hope to do, and we're thankful that on Tuesday the people of Maryland have gave me the honor of saying you're hired and we're ready to move forward. And so there's a real level of humility that I walked into the building today, but also just a real level of gratefulness and excitement about what we're going to be able to do going forward.
I want to ask you a question about the fact that as I walk around these facilities, there's a lot of building going on. Are you all going to be ready for inauguration day?
You talking to me? Yeah. No. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. We've been under a construction zone for 2.5 years, and there's been a lot of jackhammering, and I got barking dogs and headache, and not a whole lot of sleep. Traffic problems. Look, they're making real progress on it's our 250th anniversary of this incredible building, the first Capitol of the United States. That dome was a mess. They're working hard to get it fixed. I don't think it's going to be done in time for the inauguration. Legislative Services just tore down their own building after we finished Lawyers Mall. That's not going to happen for another couple years. So, unfortunately, I'm looking forward to get a little peace and quiet away from the construction zone, and Governor-Elect Moore is going to spend a lot of time in a construction zone. That's a great question.
My message to all Marylanders is that I'm ready to get to work, and I'm excited to be your governor. Whether or not I earned your support during the general election or not, I plan on going to earn it. And for those who I'm thankful that they voted for me, I plan on keeping your support.
Spend just an extra moment on politics. Locally in the state, what is the future for your party in this state? What's the way forward for the Republican Party?
I think it's a pretty simple answer. We've been really successful with our brand of politics, and I was able to win the bluest state in America, a state that, President Biden won by 33 points. I was able to run 45 points ahead of President Trump. I don't think the Republican Party in Maryland has much of a future by doubling down on failure and by moving in a wacky direction that has a message that does not appeal to swing voters and traditional Republicans and independents and discerning Democrats. They're just not going to be successful in the future. So I think they have some soul searching to do as a state party, but also at the national party about what direction our party takes in the future if we want to ever get back to winning elections again instead of losing elections.
Governor Hogan, in that same vein, several of your endorsed candidates here in Maryland were not successful. Barry Glassman, Herbie Morgan, Ambrose. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And also, who did you vote for governor?
Look, almost all Republicans lost in Maryland, as they almost always do, because it's more than 2-to-1 Democrat to Republican. But we had some great candidates that I endorsed and that I supported that I thought would have been great. I think some of them ran very good campaigns. We also elected some kind of, people that didn't have any message that appealed to anyone, and they lost for good reason.
And who did you vote for?
I think that's why they have the secret ballot. You get to go. I don't really, I went in there, I voted for somebody, but I don't have to tell you guys who it was.
Love it.
It's important that you meet with the outgoing governor, but you are going to be working very closely with Senate President Ferguson, Speaker Johnson. Could you tell us what your relationship with them is, and are they necessarily expecting to be on board with everything you want?
Yeah, I think the relationship that I have with them is strong. I was thankful that I received the support even early in the primary from the Speaker of the House and also from the Senate President. And I think it's because they know that we're going to have a strong partnership, that there will be things that we're going to move fast on, that it won't necessarily be an agreement on everything, but they always know that in me they're going to have a partner inside of this work.
Governor, just on that real quick, you've worked with them as well, too. Is there some advice you can impart to the incoming governor about dealing with the heads of the two legislative bodies that we're standing in front of right now?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about my relationship with the legislature and a little bit of advice, but I think he's already well familiar with both the Senate President and the Speaker, and I'm sure they'll have a great relationship. It'd probably be different than the relationship we had, but I valued the relationship, and we were able to accomplish so many things by reaching towards the middle and being willing to compromise and to work on bipartisan common sense solutions. And it's for me, I just want to thank both the Speaker and the Senate President for the time that we had to work together and thank them for their cooperation. We passed 8 years in a row. We passed tax cuts, $4.7 billion. Past 2 years in a row, the largest tax cuts in history. I wouldn't have done that without the partners in the legislature, and I thank them for working together with us.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.